Hey, everybody, it's Drew Scooter for Sleep With Me podcast, answering questions about the show here at Questions Corner. I would love to get your questions. Post your questions on this link here. We'd love to get your questions. I'd love to answer them. Also, if you're just seeing this for the first time, go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/QQ because a lot of those questions have been answered in Questions Corner. There's tons of cool videos and stuff like that. This is not so much a question. It is a question that comes up, but Steven who I want to call Stevie B for some reason. I think from Stephen F was saying, "Hey, I just realized I had Vocal Boost and Smart Speed on my podcast app, and I started listening, and now the shows kind of sounds a bit different because it's even slower and stuff." So I wanted to just kind of show those. A lot of podcast apps offer these settings, and they're turned on because most people aren't listening to a sleep podcast. And they're turned on so that podcasts can have a more consistent sound and they're a little bit more efficient. So I'm going to show you how on some popular podcast apps. I'm only going to show you on a couple because each podcast app is different and there's a lot of podcast apps. So for your podcast app, if I don't cover it in this video, I'm going to cover Overcast and Podcast Addict. I'm going to show you how to turn off those settings. It's probably similar in your podcast app, or you can always look it up at the website of the company that makes your podcast app or on YouTube, right here on YouTube. Let's see. Let's start with Overcast because I was just using it. Okay, so you're going to see here on my Overcast. Let's see if this will come up here. No. There we go. What if I turn this light out? Will it work better? No. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you're going to see it's probably written in reverse. They are on, and it's on a speed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say custom for this podcast and pretend I'm listening to the Sleep With Me main feed or Sleep and Patron feed. I'm going to, let me just show you what it sounds like with it turned on. Well, this is also at a different speed, but okay, so Santa goes and shows Winky and this new stuff. Some of the new toys we're turning out. Okay, so then then one time speed. And how's it going, Winky? Okay. All right. Okay, and it actually on Overcast even shows that just with Smart Speed, it's going at 1.49, and even on Overcast they write what they do. Not every app does that, but it's like remasters audio and shortens silence. So you turn Smart Speed off and Vocal Boost off. The reason why I turn Vocal Boost off is because we master all our audio ahead of time, so then it's getting mastered twice, and it can just throw off Sleep With Me. It can just throw off the sound. But for a lot of podcasts, it's a really good feature, just not for Sleep With Me. And then Smart Speed basically truncates silence or shortens the silences. So there's a lot of intentional pauses in Sleep With Me, and those will get cut out. Then we're going to turn on custom for this podcast. And then. All right, great job. Sounds pretty slow. We got some space stuff here. And we got the latest toy rocket. All right, so that's slowed down. In Overcast, you can even slow it down to, I don't know what speed this is, but it runs on real. So if you wanted it even slower. And the cool thing about Overcast and Podcast Addict or Podcast Pocket Cast is that you can slow it down without it impacting the sound. Bad idea. So that's even slower. All right, let's check out Pocket Casts. Nope, I just started playing it. That's not what I want to do. POCKET. Did I delete it off my phone? I may have. I did, so I just got to re-download it. I just deleted it off my phone because I had so many auto downloads and I have so many podcast apps on here. I was trying to manage my storage. Okay, so yeah, Vocal Boost or Smart Speed or Truncate Silence or Auto Extra Loud. I don't know what else they call it. Let's see what they call it in Podcast Addict or Podcast. I don't have Podcast Addict because I don't have an Android device in front of me. But okay, let's open up Pocket Cast. Not now. Okay, I'm now logged in, so it doesn't have any. So let's just download Sleep With Me. What is? Oh man, there's a fake. A couple of fake versions of the show on here. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So subscribe. All right. Now I'm going to download an episode just to make it. So let me know any questions. Post them in the chat there. Okay. So I got the latest episode. So I'm going to hit play. Listening that can relate to what you're dealing with. But also, you deserve a good night's sleep. That's why I make the show. You deserve a friend in the deep, dark night. So So then in initially, these are turned off on Pocket Casts. They call it trim silence and volume boost, and then speed. So those are off. You can see gray, and that's what it looks like turned on. They also have how much you want to trim the silence. The highest setting is called Mad Max. It just means it's going to cut out all the silences. It just doesn't work for Sleep With Me. So those are now off. And again, you can change your speed setting here. Let's say, how low can you go? To 0.5. How this show goes, for most people, it takes a couple tries to get used to. Sounds like I had a couple cocktails there. But yeah, and then I don't know anybody that speeds it up. I do speed it up on one of my listens. So if you need to listen during the day. Just because the show is so different, what I'll do, or what we got coming up here structurally is support. So there's a couple settings you could change in your podcast, have a better experience if they're set. Particularly because sometimes people say, hey, your voice sounds crunchy or stuff sounds loud. Normally that'd be a vocal boost. And yeah, or if it sounds sped up, like every once in a while, someone will say, hey, the podcast sounds way, way faster now. And it's usually just that setting gets bumped somehow. Let me see in Apple Podcast. Let's just check a couple more apps. Okay. Apple Podcasts. Beyond by. Okay, let's see. So I don't think it Apple Podcasts you can change to 0.75 is the slow speed. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So pretty chill. I don't see any other vocal boost settings in here. Does have, you can set your sleep timer. And let's check Spotify to finish it off. From PRX. Okay, so on Spotify, it also has the time settings. You want it at 1. You can go all the way down to 0.5 on that. Friends beyond binary. Whoa, boy, that is slow. This has a timer, a cue. Let's just see what else. I haven't checked out the settings in here. I don't see any vocal boost settings or anything. So, and then it has a sleep timer too. You can set your sleep timer. And Spotify also has Q&A. Oh, how do I, whoops. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so it's like a Q&A with how would you describe Sleep With Me to a friend who's never heard it before? You can type it right in there. I also know they have polls, but I guess it only goes on the episode you attach the poll to. Anyway, there's a couple podcast settings. Thanks for this. Thanks for asking questions or being interested in the podcast or supporting the show directly. Thanks, everybody.